Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha Bean of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators Today. Today, we have a special guest.
Read El Boricua Arabe, urban artist.
Awesome. Welcome.
Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Definitely.
This is kind of interesting how music and film, like how the two worlds like tend to sometimes run into each other, you know?
Absolutely. It's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your childhood. Like, I love going back to the beginning. I always say, like, our childhood kind of charts our trajectory and like where we're going in life, with our interests that we are into when we're a kid, and then like where we're going in our future. So tell me a little bit about your childhood and how did you kind of find your way into music?
Oh, that's a great question. My humble beginnings started. I was born in Hell's Kitchen, New York City, to Moroccan father and Puerto Rican mother. So I all my life I've had to balance two cultures, you know. And in elementary school, I was a trumpet player for a minute, in the
Nice.
school band, and that's why I learned how to read music and all that. But then hip hop started, and that kind of changed my trajectory. Me and one of the other trumpet players, we became like best friends. His mother eventually became my godmother, and we started writing raps and just through being multicultural, especially my Latin side, my Puerto Rican side. My aunt used to sing. Actually, she still does sing in Puerto Rico, bolero music.
Nice.
And my father was a Julio Iglesias fan, so I would get all these type of styles of music, and then he'd listen to his Arabic music. So I grew up as a little kid listening to all this stuff, and not knowing that I was secretly just being. I like who would have thought I would eventually mix that with what my hip hop sound, and in fact later on, thank God for reggaeton, Puerto Ricans found our voice in as a subgenre of the culture hip hop,
Yeah.
But yeah, it all started just being raised in New York, man. New York is such a multicultural city.
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many people there. I love
Oh,
it.
I got exposed to everything from Motown to hip hop to rock, Led Zeppelin. My father was a country music fan. Go figure, the Moroccan, and like all my exes live in Texas. So I grew up with almost everything. So when I started rapping and it was always me and my god brother Andrew Welsh. He's Irish and Puerto Rican. Goes that's a good example of what Hell's Kitchen was like. And
Well,
we had it was a little of everything. I mean, blacks were here. It was mostly Irish and Italian though, the neighborhood. I started going uptown because I wanted to rap. And people were like, "Well, you Puerto Rican." I said, "I don't care. I can rap." So I started going uptown. And that led to me singing. I said,
nice.
"Well, I can also," we used to call it harmonize. I can harmonize. I got a voice for harmonizing. And then little by little, I would run into the Force MDs. They used to be street performers. Back then, they were the Force MCs. And almost all of us back in the early 80s, I'm considered like an OG in hip hop
Right.
just because I've been around so long. But when people see my face, they think I'm younger. And
That's
I'm
a
like,
good
nah,
thing.
I'm 55, man, but I'm 55 years young. I'm not 55 years old. And I want to break that stereotype that people in their 50s can't do this. And my fan base is a younger audience. I mean, I'm getting streams the ages go from 19 to like 45.
I
So
love that.
I'm kind of proud of that, because it's really hard for I'm a throwback. We didn't have auto tune. We didn't have all of this. I mean, I use it now because I can't sing. It's just to be relevant, you have to take advantage of all the technologies, available to you. But yeah,
Absolutely.
it all started out in my humble days in Hell's Kitchen, man. Let me tell you, man, music saved me, man. And for all you young artists out there, man, keep on doing what you do because music will save you, man. Save me from the streets, man. New York was crazy back then. And my father was just like, you know what? I'd rather him in the nightclub than out there in the streets. So yeah, I've been doing it a long time. I was part of different groups. I was in a group called Future Force. That was the first one. One of our members ended up becoming K7. He had a big hit song, "Come Baby Come."
Nice.
Yeah, and yeah, we worked with Full Force. They gave us our humble, like our first shot at recording demo tapes. So I've been part of a lot of history. I'm that guy that never really made it big. And then a friend of mine told me, sometimes you make it when you're young, sometimes you make it later in life.
Hmm.
And I'm finally, man, this song, Una Noche Con Un Arabe, it's on the charts. I just checked it. It's number 4. Thanks to
Nice.
all the fans, man.
Love that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
thanks, man. I'm having so much fun and keeping myself humble. I'm not caught up in the whole music industry, this and that and this rumor. I'm just I became a flight attendant and decided to move to the Caribbean,
Mhm,
not knowing that I would end up going back to music after leaving music in the 90s.
mhm.
I did a lot of promoting for a while. Actually, it's funny. This is like kind of a creator's creator thing because I was an usher in the movie theaters
Oh,
for
nice.
about 10 years. I love so to speak on both worlds, I loved film and I never took a job for the pay. I always took a job. I mean, I was making minimum wage back then. It was like maybe $4.70 an hour as
Hmm.
an usher. And and I just loved cinema,
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know,
I love that.
entertainment. My drama teacher said I was a natural born actor.
I love that.
Yeah, I went to high school with the big salsa star Mark Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Absolutely.
remember we both got offered like to be part of a troupe called Talent Unlimited. And I was too busy recording my rap songs, and Mark was too busy recording his dance music songs back then. So we were like, nah, we're busy. We got our own plans. Go figure how the world, is a small world.
Absolutely. I kind
Yeah,
of want to
man.
touch back on what you said earlier about like, being your age and like you said that some people make it later. And it's interesting, like you said,
Yeah, the black
like
hair stuff.
right. Like you can say Jay-Z, Jay-Z's still rapping at his age and he's really, he doesn't seem like he has aged at all. Actually, he's gotten better as he gotten older. So I do agree with you on that it doesn't matter about your age or,
No,
you know, it's what you feel inside and what you want to contribute, to the world. And so I think that's really awesome what you're doing. Um, so you did rap, you got into music. Were there any like obstacles? And I'm sure there were. And
oh
when it
man,
came to that, how did you get over those obstacles? How did you get past all that?
I used to listen to the Rap Attack show. Rest in peace, Mr. Magic. He was a WBLS show on the weekends, and he had a saying: "Persistence overcomes resistance." And I remember as a teenager being like, "Wow, yeah, he's right," and
Yeah.
and that always stayed in my head. And I've I've had many doors slammed in my face. I've had, you know, over the years, and I just kept trying. I'm just a guy that just driven by passion. I used to go up to Arista Records back when Whitney Houston was big, and
Mm.
I used to show up back. We had cassette tapes. I says, "You got to listen to my demo. It's the best demo in the world." And they were like, "No, we don't do rap." Back then, R&B was, and I'm like, "But you got to listen to this because we can sing too." And I get kicked out of the building, and I show up the next. I said, "I see." The security guard got sick of me. He's like, "You again?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'd lie to him too. I said, "I have an appointment."
You got to do what you got to do.
I was I was there in Streetwise Records when New Edition got their record deal. I was like there, literally. I was the third appointment.
Wow.
I was sitting there hearing them because they had signed they were signing New Edition, and there was another group, two young kids that sounded like the Edition, and they couldn't take the other two. And
Wow.
then so when I showed up with my tape, he was like, "We don't do rap." I'm like, "Streetwise Records, you don't do rap?" I said, "You got to listen to this rap. Good." I,
I
I'm just
love that.
maybe call me stubborn.
I think that's what it
Self
takes.
belief, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
exactly what
you
it
gotta be
takes.
stubborn. You gotta be like, yeah, you know, you know. Us artists, all of us, we got a little crazy in us, in a good way. You
Definitely,
know.
definitely. Yeah, because I think if you don't believe in yourself, I mean, how can you convince anyone else to believe in you and your work if you don't think that you're worth it? And I think that and that, you can't put a time limit on your purpose, right? It's limitless. It's like you can just continue to go one foot in front of the other and step
Oh
out on
man,
faith, right?
it's funny you mention that because like now in the world we're living in, I recorded a song called Una Noche Con Un Arabe, one night or a night with an Arab, a sexy song
Hmm.
in a child that's been raised by a Muslim father and a Catholic mother.
Wow.
And I mean, I've always been in the middle. I was baptized Catholic because that was the religion available to me in New York, especially in Hell's Kitchen. We had Sacred Heart Church, and then later in life, I studied Islam a little bit, and not to talk about religion, but just in the world, people like me are mixed races like me are representing the future, man, and that's what the world, and I don't want to bring up any of the negativity happening in Israel, Palestine, because
Yeah.
most people, Israeli, Palestinians, they love each other. It's not, nobody wants war, man. Nobody. And so people like me are kind of, that's why, people now they want, after the pandemic, now war and all this, people want to escape, and
Hmm.
I write a lot of deep music. I do spoken word also,
Nice.
but for some reason, every now and then you just need a sexy song to give you that escape. And that's what Una Noche con un Árabe is the blend between Latino, the sexiness of the Latino, and the exoticness of the Arabic culture.
I
So
love
I
that.
think even though it's a sex song about a guy meeting a girl in the club and then talking about, oh, I wanted to dance with you, I wanted to be with you. I think the representation of the song is bigger than that.
Hmm.
Probably because of how many different musically it has Bali, it has Indian. Somebody interviewed me and said, "Man, that song has everything in the kitchen sink
Yeah.
without anything crashing,
Hmm.
without
Hmm.
overproducing. It just has like we call salsa, like a little of this, a little of that,
Right.
you know."
Right. Right. Absolutely.
And it's funny because I was interviewed by I was on a podcast. Brad Cooney. And probably if it wasn't for Brad Cooney, me and you would be talking right now. He said I could hear that song on a movie soundtrack. And I'm like, really? He said,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, the PR firm that I've been dealing with, they contacted me after hearing our podcast, and he said, they plugged your show. And
Awesome.
I always say, we say in Spanish, una puerta abre otra puerta. That means one door opens another door.
100%. I believe that.
Yeah. You know, I'm just trying to do art, man, whether it sells or not, I want to reach people more than anything,
Absolutely.
'cause I always believe a human being, how much money does a human being really need?
Mm-hmm.
I own my own land in the Dominican Republic. I'm building my Airbnb with my friend. Money. And they go, why do you do music? You want to be rich and fat? I'm like, nah, man. I want to reach people, man. I want to make a difference, especially maybe my cross-cultureness, which I know there's billions of people like me in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one day it'll make a difference and stop the bloodshed. And maybe
Mm,
people will just see people as human beings
right.
and not, oh, you're this, you're that, you're this religion, you're that, you're black, you're white, you're Asian. I want to be the artist of the people, for the people and
Right.
all inclusive, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's a beautiful thing, which actually leads me to my question. And there's no wrong answer.
Okay.
But the three levels of influence, money, power, or respect. And if you could choose one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Respect.
Love that. Love that.
Power. What is power? Money's paper. I always laugh at the film Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
I love that film because Forrest Gump in the movie, the character said, it's just paper. I just happen to have a lot of green paper. He
Yeah.
he he did Bubba Grump shrimp because of his friend, because he respected Bubba in the movie.
Right.
So you can't put a price on respect, And I think my fan base, I think anyone that knows me, whether they like my music or hate it, they gotta respect my grind, man, because I've been that guy to have people say you're never gonna make it. Fareed Abdallah. I'm kind of like Obama. I could relate to Obama. When he
Yeah.
became president, I literally shed a tear because I
Hmm.
said, wow, man, he's me.
Right. Right.
And people respected Obama, whether they liked him or not. They
Right.
respected him. A lot of people didn't like some of his policies, but come on, man. You got to respect the guy with the name Barack Obama showing up and becoming president of the United States,
Yeah.
And more than power, I think he got more respect than power.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
even though he was the most powerful man in the government, but there's always limits to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think he got a lot of respect. I know, I've always respected him.
I
Hey,
love that.
Obama, if you're out there, Obama fan.
That's right. No, that's a great answer. I was actually gonna ask a really, really fun question, just to really light up the mood, but I love asking this. If you could collaborate with any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Wow. Oof. Can I give a two-part answer? Living and dead? I don't know.
Living or dead? There's no wrong
Living
answer.
Shakira,
Hey, okay,
because
okay. I like
I'm
Shakira.
yeah, people consider me her male counterpart in the Latin world. When I've been
Love
interviewed in
that.
Spanish in Colombia, they play my music out there, and the radio DJ said, "Oh, we got you." I go, "What do you mean?" you're Latino and you're Arabic, right? He goes, yeah, we have Shakira. You're kind of her, but a guy.
I love
So I
that.
think her vocally would be great. I mean, me and her also are fans of like rock and The Cure and that kind of music. And I could tell the music she listens to just from her music. Now, Dad, hmm, I don't know. It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
I've been around so long. I mean, maybe David Ruffin from the Temptations.
Oh,
I like him.
wow. I like that. That's a
Yeah,
great one. That's a good
yeah.
one.
I like David Ruffin. I actually did a bachata version, like a
Nice.
Latin rendition of My Girl.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, if you type Fareed My Girl on Spotify, my version pops up. And I remember I was going, damn, I can't sing like this guy. I'm nowhere near as good as he. So I really, really, really rehearsed. I mean, I said, I do not want to ruin this song, you know? So yeah,
I,
probably David Ruffin. As crazy as he is, yeah.
I love that. I love that. What advice would you give to those people that want to get into the music industry?
Sorry. Uh be realistic, be original, be yourself, and don't take no for an answer. If
Love
you
that.
can figure that out, and you have to be able to take criticism. Because if you can't take it, man, you won't make it. I mean, people are gonna hate. It's gonna be a mixture of haters and a mixture of people giving you constructive criticism. Now you have to know the difference.
Hmm.
You know, like oh, you suck is a hater. You could have did this better, you know, and that's more constructive.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and at the end of the day, man, you don't have to rely on American Idol, The Voice, or any of that to make it. You can make it on your own. Just do your research, learn how to advertise. Because now, you know, indie artists, you need to have a lot of hats. You know, you need to be this, you need to be that. I have a team that I work with. It's not just me.
Yeah.
So Suicide Recordings. I have my friend's wife Doris. She helps me with my online stuff. She's like I call her the Instagram queen. And then my producer, Junior, he's in the Dominican Republic. And none of them are doing it for the money, man. You know, that's what I like. They're like, nah, you'll give us work in the future. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
I have a promoter in Santo Domingo. He gets me on the Spanish TV shows, and he says, "Don't even mention me when you're being interviewed on TV." He goes, "We'll talk when you make it big." He believes I'm gonna be the biggest thing, since Bad Bunny and Romeo Santos.
I love that.
I mean, look at Bad Bunny as an example, man. He worked in a supermarket.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally rags to riches. Now, what are the odds of a guy like me, 55 years old, been 30 something years in the music industry, has been told you would never make it? Rap's not for you. You're not Puerto Rican enough. You're not Arabic enough. I've always been in the middle. What are the odds of me, this misfit that used to work for $4.60 an hour at a movie theater, get a song on a movie soundtrack? Or, you know, you just have to be a dreamer, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
What's life without a goal? An old man told me, if you want to live to be an old man, always have a project.
Yeah.
So that's what I do, and I do it with pure passion and honesty. I don't, you know, the music industry is full of a lot of tiburones, which means sharks, and you have to have tough skin to be in it. So I mean, it's not all roses. Music is a beautiful thing, entertainment's a beautiful thing, but behind the scenes,
It's
Forget
another
it.
it's
So I
another
moved
world.
overseas. I go to Dominican Republic, I hide out in the country with the goats and the cows and just live a simple life, and then put music out there online for the people to enjoy and to try to make that difference. The,
Yeah.
the brothers, the hip hop stations are playing the song, and they say it's a banger. I say, yeah, I don't care if you don't speak. I tell them, I don't care if you don't speak Spanish. When that beat comes on, you're gonna shake that butt.
Absolutely. And I think
Yeah,
it's a great song. And I played it and I was like, wow, it sounds really fun. And like you said, it takes you away from just what's happening in the world that we're going through right
yeah,
now.
escape.
Yeah. So thank you for that because I mean, we live in such a negative and I mean, the reality of our world is really sad, but I think, like you
Oh
said, to get
man,
away from that, we
scary.
need those moments. So thank you.
We do, man. We really do. I
Yeah.
listen to my own songs sometimes, and I go, "Oh man, good." I have a hard day. I throw it on every now and then.
That's good.
Then I make my own playlists up on Spotify, and I mix it with all the other Arabic. And every now and then I run into a DJ Khaled and a French Montana song that no one knows that they did out there
Yeah.
in the Arabic world. I'm like, oh, okay, they get it. I'm not the only one out here doing it. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely.
I
And
like Khaled. If I make it big one day like him, man, I know we would end up hanging out because he
he's
seems
fun.
like the oh yeah, man. People
Yeah.
like him give me hope. I'm like,
Yes.
DJ Khaled made it?
Yeah. He's a cool guy. I think yeah, he's one of those like fun people like I'm sure that he would be really
Yeah.
cool to hang out with. Yeah.
And he's not afraid to be him and his family. He puts his kids up there.
Yep.
You know, he's fun. I
He's
can see why people love him.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Where can people find your music and also just not just music, but where can people go on social media and find your handles to follow you and everything that you have coming up next?
Okay, I finally got my website, www.elboricuaarabe, spelled ElBoricuArabe.com, elboricuaarabe.com. My I'm I'm on Facebook 24/7 and Instagram. They link up now. So you can find me on Instagram, www.instagram.com/my full name, Fareed Abdallah, FareedAbdallah. So when you type that all lowercase, you'll find me. I'm like 64,000 followers or something like that and growing.
Nice,
So
nice.
I know there's a lot of people like me out there. I get a lot of people from Latin America. And finally, the Arab world is starting to notice me. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's
Nice.
cool.
Love that.
Twitter, my Twitter's my least. I only have a couple hundred people on Twitter, and I fell in love with Facebook and then Instagram.
Yeah, I'm not on
Those are the
Twitter.
best places to find me. Music is on all platforms. I'm distributed through CD Baby, so I have Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal. If you type Fareed El Boricua Arabe or even Fareed, it might pop up. Sometimes when you type Fareed, the newscaster pops up. There's another guy named Fareed that's on
Oh, really?
TV. Yeah, so you got to put Fareed music artist or urban artist, and I pop up. My YouTube channel is growing now. I have Una Noche Con Un Arabe just hit 34,000 views. Thank you, thank you.
Woohoo.
Yeah, it's a
Congratulations.
global market, man. I'm getting a lot of people commenting on the song, and a lot of good energy. And the funny thing is, the song is in Spanish, and all the comments are in English.
Hey,
That's funny.
that's awesome. I think that means that's a good sign. It's universal. So I think people feel that
Yeah,
and
music doesn't matter the language.
Absolutely.
Music and love, the international language.
That's right. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for
Yeah.
coming on. This was lovely, lovely chat talking to you, and we're excited for everything you have coming up and all that. And just again, congratulations and thank you again for coming on. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, and thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Exactly. Always smile.